If Jon Moxley ever stepped foot in a WWE ring again, everything would change. That's not hype. That's history. And today we're breaking down exactly what would happen if the Lunatic Fringe sent a message to Roman Reigns that would shake the tribal chief to his core, then made a warning to Jacob Fatu that might just be the most terrifying moment the Samoan werewolf has ever experienced. Stay tuned because this story is about to get absolutely insane. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join the WWE Express family so you never miss these breaking analysis videos. Picture this scenario. Jon Moxley returns to WWE, and his first target isn't the championship. It's not some random opportunity. It's Roman Reigns. But not in the way you'd expect. You see, Moxley carries something that very few wrestlers in this generation possess: credibility through unpredictability. He's a man who has nothing to prove and everything to say. When he steps into that ring, or cuts that promo, it's raw, it's unfiltered, it's dangerous. And Roman knows this. So imagine Moxley standing in the ring, microphone in hand, addressing the tribal chief directly. But this message isn't aggressive. It's not a challenge wrapped in insults. It's something far more powerful. It's respect. Moxley, speaking directly to Roman, acknowledging what he's done for wrestling, what he's built with the bloodline, and what it means to truly carry an entire company on your shoulders. Moxley has been that guy in another promotion. He knows the weight. He understands the burden. And when he says it to Roman, the audience feels it. The tribal chief, who is used to being challenged, finds himself being understood. And that's where the psychology shifts. This moment is crucial because Roman Reigns thrives on dominance, but what he rarely experiences is genuine acknowledgement from someone who operates on the same level. When Moxley offers that, even in a hypothetical sense, it creates a fascinating dynamic. Roman wouldn't dismiss it. He'd respect it. He'd recognize himself in Moxley. The tribal chief respects warriors, respects killers, respects men who have bled and clawed their way to relevance on their own terms. Moxley is all of those things. But then comes the turn. This is where the story gets dangerous. This is where Moxley's attention shifts, and his tone changes entirely. Jacob Fatu enters the picture, and Moxley's eyes narrow. Because Moxley isn't just a wrestler who understands the business, he's a student of psychology, of human behavior, of what separates warriors from uncontrolled force. And Jacob Fatu, in this narrative, represents something Moxley has seen before: raw power without wisdom, dangerous energy without direction. Moxley would look directly at Jacob and deliver a warning that cuts deeper than any physical threat. He wouldn't talk about their potential match. He wouldn't hype a future encounter. Instead, he'd speak about the danger of being Roman's right hand without understanding the full picture. He'd warn Jacob about the isolation that comes with being in the inner circle of someone as powerful as the tribal chief. He'd point out that power can be intoxicating, that it can make you reckless, and that recklessness in this business doesn't just hurt you, it can bury you. This warning would be terrifying not because Moxley would threaten Jacob, but because he'd recognize something in him that needs to be checked. Moxley has wrestled men who had more power but less sense. He's seen careers derailed by ego and lack of control. And when Moxley speaks from that place of experience, when he tells Jacob that the Samoan werewolf needs to understand that being the most physically gifted person in the room isn't enough, that's when it becomes truly unsettling. The beauty of this scenario is that Moxley wouldn't need to physically confront Jacob to make this message land. It would be verbal devastation wrapped in concern, wrapped in wisdom. He'd essentially be telling Jacob that if they ever clash, the werewolf's greatest enemy won't be Moxley's technical skill or his fighting spirit. It will be Jacob's own inability to control the animal inside. And that kind of warning, that kind of psychological warfare, would eat at Jacob in ways a traditional challenge never could. From a narrative standpoint, this creates layers of storytelling that WWE fans crave. You have Roman respecting the acknowledgement from Moxley, creating a fascinating mutual respect angle. You have Jacob, the rising star, being psychologically challenged by a veteran who sees his weaknesses. And you have the audience wondering where this actually goes. Will Moxley and Roman align? Will Jacob prove Moxley wrong and show that power and control can coexist? Will this warning push Jacob to evolve, or will it make him more dangerous? The heartfelt message to Roman establishes Moxley as someone above the typical challenger narrative. He's not hungry for a title. He's not trying to dethrone anyone. He's simply acknowledging greatness. This positions him as a different kind of threat, the kind that comes from respect rather than resentment. It's far more compelling from a storytelling perspective because it creates intrigue about what Moxley actually wants. The warning to Jacob, conversely, positions Moxley as the wise mentor figure who sees danger others miss. He's essentially saying that raw power without discipline is a beautiful tragic flaw waiting to happen. And for a character like Jacob Fatu, who thrives on being the most dominant physical presence, having someone suggest that's not enough, that's devastating psychology. In wrestling, the most compelling stories aren't about who's stronger or faster. They're about layers. They're about what characters mean to each other, how they perceive each other, and what those perceptions drive them to do. A Moxley return that includes a heartfelt moment with Roman and a terrifying warning for Jacob would tell that kind of story. It would give us genuine character development, psychological warfare that doesn't need fists, and storytelling that respects the intelligence of the audience. This is the kind of narrative that separates great wrestling from good wrestling. This is wrestling that understands character as deeply as it understands athleticism. And this is why, if this scenario ever became reality, it would absolutely captivate the entire WWE universe. Make sure to subscribe to WWE Express right now so you're notified the moment we break down how these storylines actually develop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on WWE Express.